Hey everybody, we're back here in Vancouver for Everything Electric, and I'm here with Chace Barber, and we're standing in front of the Edison truck. Now this got the most hits when we came here last year, and Chace, how's it been going?
It's been going pretty good. Turns out, actually just building a truck and getting it running is hard. Getting a truck and doing all the programming and everything is so much harder. So for the last year we've been programming, but as of the last 2-3 weeks, we've had her out working, hauling logs. It's got a license plate on her. So yeah, she's going to work. She's moving logs. She's hauling loads. She's hauling some of our own stuff around when we need to pick it up. And yeah,
excellent.
It's done.
Excellent news. So I heard you've got maybe an X VIN on this truck. You got a VIN of some sort.
We got a BC assigned VIN, as they call it.
Yeah, okay, good. That's good for this truck. So what's your long range plan then? How many vehicles per year are you thinking you want to get out the door?
Well, there's a lot of people that want trucks. It'd be nice to get to the point where we can build a lot of trucks, but I want to start a little bit smaller. Want to make sure that the trucks we do build are really reliable, really sturdy, really skookum, and that you build a few, you test them out. Does it work? Okay, well, what do we need to fix? Like, I'm not going to make any promises that say, oh, I'm going to build 20,000 trucks in the next 3 years, because that's not a realistic goal, because we'll build hundreds and hundreds of trucks and then find out that there's major problems with those trucks. So I'd rather fix problems with 5 or 10 trucks than 5 or 100 trucks.
Well, actually, you're in luck, because the government will force you into doing that. And if they find anything, they're going to want to go over it like with a fine-tooth comb and give you spankings and stuff like that. So I guarantee you it's going to take you a bit to get this thing on the road. Even though it is a big truck and whatnot, you're still going to have to go through a lot of initiative stuff, and you're definitely going to be needing to go to homologation and things like that. So all of these things combined, what's your guess on how much money you're going to need in order to make this happen?
Oh, we're going to need a couple million for sure.
A couple of million?
A couple of million.
I'm thinking more like 50 million.
50 million.
Yes, yeah, that's kind of like what, so the investors out there, 50 million is a little light as far as I'm concerned, but this may be your opportunity for the century. All right, so let's see what you got here. You got a new powertrain, or?
Yeah, this is our new axle that we're putting into the next couple prototypes we're building here. So on this truck here on Topsy, it had the electric motor sitting out, and it ran into a normal differential, normal ring and pinion. But you have a lot of unsprung weight that's kind of held out. Well, now if you're out there, the farther out, your fulcrum point, the more leverage. Well, if you're off-road, you're going to be stressing out these bolts. Right. And it had a lot of hoses and everything, so we went around, found a company. These are 18-ton axles, and now it's got 2 motors. Each one runs its own wheel, so we can do a little bit of playing around with torque vectoring for each motor, a little bit more control, a little bit more differential locking.
So what I'm looking at is basically 1,000 horsepower.
It's 480 per axle. So on a tandem configuration, then it is 1,000 horsepower. Tri-drive, you're pushing out about 1,400 horsepower.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like combining them. But there you go. So about 1,000 horsepower, plus this has got instant torque and whatnot. And around here, it looks kind of like a lot of hills, mountains and whatnot. Kind of a handy thing to have, I would guess.
It is insane. So this one's 30% more than we had on this. This thing moves a load of logs like it's not even there. Like, you step on the throttle, you are immediately, like, I remember the first time I hauled a whole load of logs. So we were about 150,000 pounds, and we stepped on the throttle, looking in the mirror, like, did my 5th wheel not lock? Like, did I lose the trailer? Like, I've never seen that kind of power and torque. And normally you let out your clutch, you accelerate, then you got your turbo lag, you get your turbo boost, you just get boost, then you just grab the next gear, then you lose your boost, next gear, 18 gears in a semi-truck. That's a lot. This one was just instant power, instant torque, and we were gone. A hill that I can normally climb in a truck around 40, 50 kilometers an hour, I was doing 80 kilometers an hour up, so twice the speed to climb the hill.
And I found the same thing when I was working with, or when I went down and interviewed the guys at Nikola. So I drove a truck a long time ago, and I couldn't believe it. I didn't know that I had a load. I thought I was getting in the one where I was just going to be in the tractor itself, but I wasn't. I had the tractor and the trailer. And I'm zipping around and thinking, wow, this is brilliant. No shifting of gears, no this, no that. Anybody could drive this kind of a deal. And the guy that was sitting next to me, you might want to slow down a smidge on this corner. I said, no, I think I'm fine. Well, I think it'd be a great idea if you just slow down a smidge. I didn't. We went around the corner and he came, man, I thought you were going to lose it there. I said, what? Well, the trailer. What? And I look in the rearview mirror and I about shit my pants. I could not believe what it's like to drive something like this versus the old-fashioned gear jamming, whatever. Yeah, never in a million years.
You know, the best compliment we've ever had was from a truck driver that we let pull his low bed around with this. He got out of the truck, came over, punched me in the chest, and he's like, you son of a bitch, you made me hate my truck. He's like, now I got to go back to shifting every single, He's like, now that I've had the power and the torque of this, he's like, how do I go back to mine? Thank you.
And I'm telling you right now, that's what we need to have. The other thing is, how many times you're ready to unload, and there's like 5 or 6 of you in a row. You got to keep the diesel on. It doesn't like it when it gets cold out. And besides that, you don't get cold either. Yeah. For this, the cabin stays warm and the rest of the truck just sits there. No noise, no pollution, no nothing.
Well,
so I'm brilliant. This is the best.
You got to work on site.
What?
If you're working on site with a truck where you got a concrete mixer or a crane truck on site. Your crane, you're just holding something all day for 12 hours, but you got a 15-liter engine running there.
Yeah.
Now everyone's on site's yelling, well, if you got electric, you're just holding that thing on electric, and it just does a little boost for the hydraulics.
Exactly. No, I'm telling you, as far as I'm concerned, cars are good, trucks are way better. This is where electrification really shines. And you have a hybrid, so let's go and talk about your new engine.
Yeah. So we went with a Scania 9-liter.
So first off, you used to have a Cummins, or did you have a Cummins and a Cat? You had a Cat before, and now you've gone with Scania, and I haven't ever seen anybody use Scania engines in North America without a Scania truck wrapped around it. So how did you do this? Are you a master negotiator, or what do you?
No, turns out there is a few vehicles that run Scanias. There's a lot of service rigs in Alberta, oil and gas service rigs, some crane trucks running Scania, and just no OEM has put them into a truck. And we went over to Europe and met Scania over there at a trade show, and they started talking about the benefits of the engine, and I'm like, okay. And they were so fantastic to work with, is that it called them up, said, okay, I looked into it. I think your motor makes sense. I like it. 20 minutes later, I had the full 3D files of the motor that the engineers could drop into the truck, into the models. 20 minutes to get the full 3D files. That's including, he sent an NDA over as soon as he finished the phone call, signed that. 15 minutes later, had the 3D files. I said, hey, that works. I called him up about 2 days later. I said, hey, it fits, it works. What's your lead time on this motor? He said, we got 3 of them sitting in the shop right here in Red Deer. You can come pick it up tomorrow. Hopped in my pickup truck, threw this on the trailer 2 days later. So talking with Scania was like a week to actually get a motor. And you reach out to some of the other guys and we're looking at a 40-week lead time.
That's a hell of a good story. I tell you, I when you were telling me about your pollution control systems and whatnot that you don't need and whatnot, well, actually, why don't you tell us a little bit about what this comes and what it doesn't come with?
So this Scania is Tier 4 final, because we'll have to go with Tier 4 final. But nice thing about the Scania, they can meet Tier 4 final with no diesel particulate filters. The motor runs efficiently enough that they do not need the DPF. And the DPF is constantly the thing that, as you know, plugs up. It doesn't like idling. Well, the problem is a lot of vocational trucks, work trucks, idle all day long on site. Well, that plugs up the filter, and then they got to go into a burn, or Scania doesn't have that.
So we got a 9-liter engine that we don't have to have particulate filters for, and and by the way, I in a little while ago, I told everybody that I think a hybrid is the pet rock of the future, but that was for a car. For an engine, or for a rig like this, you have to have something else. So a lot of people are going at fuel cells or hydrogen burn technology and things like that. This seems to me to be the right answer for this kind of a situation. I like I said, when we showed this last time, you guys got the highest number of hits, period. And I personally, I'm absolutely delighted with how things have gone for you. It really has been brilliant, a brilliant trip. And so what else are you going to tell us about?
Well, besides the motor, we've covered the truck kind of working. We've started building another couple trucks and working with our way through the CMVSS process, and all that started, and it's going pretty good there. That's a lot of paperwork again. Yeah, huge amounts. That's a fact, and that's where like some serious money has to be spent in order to make sure that you're certified in everything. Also, that's why I like retrofits, because you can like a semi-truck hasn't changed in 60 years. Yeah. I can take a Peterbilt cab, a Kenworth cab, drop it onto a new set of frame rails and chassis and send it out the door if need be for testing the drivetrain. Yeah. We've got a 1974 Kenworth we're doing up right now, and a 1945 International from World War II that's getting a whole hybrid set up. Gotta be kidding me. Yeah. Wow, so is there any fatigue or anything on the oh, but you're swapping out everything. We put in new half-inch frame rails, so that old International's getting a full set of half-inch frame rails, new cross members, new air ride suspension. New a lot. New motor, new axles, new drive. I don't know, at what point is it the truck of Theseus at that point though? Well, usually at 75%. If you've changed 75% of the product, gets like kind of, people start rubbing their chin. So stay under 75 and you're all set. There we go. Yeah, cool. Okay, so we've had a look at your new vehicle. We know you need 50 million. Yeah. Who do they contact? Do they contact you, or do they contact? They can contact me, or really my business partner that started with me, Eric. He's way better at all that kind of stuff than I am. Good. I'm the truck guy. Eric is the accountant of the company. So. Okay, good. So we'll put that on the bottom, contact, and we'll make something happen. Hopefully you can get this going. And like I said, this is a great area to sell trucks. So no one's building these anymore. Yeah, I know. Well, not here. Actually, even Freightliner moved to Mexico. So, well, the Western Star and Freightliner got rid of the 6900 XD. Like the heavy vocational ones are gone. Yeah, well, somebody has to, every time there's a vacuum in space, it has to get filled up. So the good news is we're here for you, and hopefully you'll be able to get some more money and get this thing on a road in a hurry. I hope so. It'd be nice to. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks for coming by and checking it out again. This was great. Thank you so much. We got to let you take this thing for a drive sometime.